Hello crafty friends, it's Alicia of the Call Me Crafty Al YouTube channel, and I am back today with the first challenge in my No Spend November challenge and giveaway. Now before I get started, if you have not watched the video with all the rules and guidelines, I am going to link that below and I'll pop it up in the upper right corner now. That is going to give you all of the details. But before I get started on today's video, I do want to clarify something. I had Deb ask me on one of the videos, she's like, I really want to play along, but there's some projects I need to buy stuff for this month, so I can't do it. The no spend is not really a challenge for you. That's just something I'm doing for myself. I just want the project you make for my challenge that you didn't spend any money on it. But you don't have to curb your crafty spending the rest of the month. Just anything that you create for my challenge should be all products that you already have. So I don't want that to hold you back from participating. So I wanted to put that out there. If you can tell in front of me, you might know the first theme for the challenge. About, let's see, man, it was 10 to 15 years ago at least, I got into card making kind of again. I had left it to be a scrapbooker, and I got into card making, and I went to Michael's, and they had a cuddle bug, and they had embossing folders. I fell in love right away. I used to enjoy using the Lasting Impressions, I think they were brass embossing templates, the little squares with a design cut into them that you would use as stylus, and I used to use those a lot on cards, like probably 20 years ago. But I just loved the idea of being able to put my paper in this folder, run it through a machine, and then it was all ready to go. I didn't have to sit for hours and get around all of the openings of the metal piece. So I fell in love, and as you can see, I bought tons of folders as well. These here were probably the first three I bought. It is the Cuttlebug Thanks, so there's just different ways to say thank you in different fonts and different languages. The Happy Birthday, and then Snowflakes. Since then, I have acquired other companies, other brands. I have a few border strips. So I thought today I would challenge you to get out those old embossing folders, or even if you want to use the metal templates, get those out and create a project. So if you want to play along with challenge number 1, you have 4 different ways to do it, and those are again outlined very clearly in the intro video. But you can do a YouTube video, you can do an Instagram post, a blog post, or if you don't do any of those, you can email me a picture of your creation. I will have all of the hashtags and links and descriptions that you need for each way in the description box below. So if you want to do the video, I will provide you with what you need to have in your description box. If you do an Instagram post, I'll put the hashtags I want you to use below. Links for a blog post I'll put below, and then details for the email, like what I want you to have in it for me. So I hope this will inspire you to get out some of your old tools and make them feel new again. I'll go ahead now and show you what I created. Here is the project that I made for the Emboss It challenge. I used an argyle embossing folder in the background of my card. And then also, going along with my no spend idea, I used a paper pad for the pattern papers and the sentiment, or the main focal point of the card that came out last year at Michael's. It was a fall paper pad. If you would like to see more of the supplies and how I created this card, you can stick around and I will have a process video, just like real quick, at the end of this video. If you're going to play along with the Emboss It challenge, you do have until December 15th to submit your entry via whichever way that you choose. If you have any questions, feel free to leave those in a comment below, because you might not be the only person with that question, and I'll answer it as soon as I can. If you enjoyed this video and you're looking forward to the rest of the series, I hope you'll give me a thumbs up. Until next video, I hope you're having a crafty day. For my Emboss It card, I decided to use my Cuttlebug Argyle embossing folder, and then I also pulled out a hot buy pad from last fall from Michael's called Farmer's Market. It is a recollections pad, and it just has kind of a farmer's market feel to it. I did actually use quite a bit of this last year. I did make use of it, but what I thought I would do is pull out some of the scrap pages that I didn't use. So for now, I think I'm going to get out the dots and the wood grain, and then the sheet with some cut-aparts. For my card base, I'm going to use a natural ice cardstock. It's between white and ivory, and that just kind of goes with the background or the coloring in the other papers. I'm going to do a top fold card, so I'll cut this piece to 4 1/4 inches wide. And then the piece that I'm going to emboss, now they do make embossing folders that fit an entire card front, but back when I started buying, they were smaller. So I do have to cut my card front a little bit smaller. I'm going to cut it to 5 inches tall by 3 3/4 inches wide. And then this is the piece that I'm going to emboss. And this is one of my favorite tools, one of my favorite buys ever when it comes to crafting. This is the original Provo Craft Cuttlebug. I have had this thing since it came out, and I tried to find on the internet today when that was, but I couldn't. I mean, it's been at least 12 years, I would have to say. And if this thing ever breaks, I'm going to be so sad because I don't like the newer Cuttlebug, and I don't want to spend all the money on like a new Big Shot, even though I know those are fantastic. I really just hope this lasts forever. I thought the Argyle had a nice fall feel to it. That's why I chose it for today. Because my embossed piece is a 1/4 inch smaller on all sides in the card base, and because I want that to stand out a little bit, I'm going to find hopefully a scrap of cardstock that matches this paper that I can just give this a little border with. I really did like this mason jar, but I think it's going to be too big for this card, so I'm going to put it to the side for now and just work with my pattern papers. I'm going to cut my wood grain to 2 1/2 inches wide, and I'm going to cut my dots to 1 1/2 inches wide. I'm going to use my Paper Studio fishtail banner punch because this one does do 2 1/2 inches wide. My Stampin' Up! One, which you know that I've talked about a lot and I love, the biggest it does is 2 inches, so when I found this I wanted to give it a try. I do have to say I like the Stampin' Up! One better. Sometimes on this one, which it did okay today, sometimes on this one it leaves like threads sticking up at those corners. I'm going to use my Dollar Tree foam tape to put my embossed piece onto my card base. My fishtail piece, I'm just going to adhere flat to the embossed piece. I think this piece needs something just to bring it out a little bit more, help it stand out. So I am going to put a very small kind of goldenrod border around it before I adhere it to my card. Now, if you are watching the process part of this video, I am going to give you a chance for a bonus entry. For it to be a bonus entry, like I have mentioned, you need to enter at least one challenge this month. But what you can do is send me an email at callmecraftyal@gmail.com, and in the body of the email, put your YouTube username, and in the body of the email somewhere put "You're a good egg," and then I will give you one bonus entry into the drawing in January when I draw for the gift cards. So this is kind of like a hidden bonus entry opportunity because you do have to be listening to me right now to know about it. There is my final card. I've used an old embossing folder, and I've also been able to use paper from an old paper pad.